what's better to share the humanities than storytelling?
Oldest profession in the world. Now let's see what your virtual hands can do. And it brings your hands up in front of you. And then this blast of light and these rays come flying out and stardust and stuff like that. And I go, wow-wee. And I go, that's where I think cliche would be, I saw the light. Stardust is what we are.
Welcome to MAGICademy podcast. Today with us is Carlos. Hi, Carlos.
Hello.
Hello. He has been in the media production industry for a long time, all the way from doing photography, and now he's fully devoted in creating 360 films in the virtual reality space. The goal of today's conversation is to dive deeper along with Carlos to take a look at all the stories that he has been making in the virtual space. And we will explore how do we build an emotional connection, connect film production with leadership. Beep, beep, beep. In front of you lands a spaceship. Out walks a very friendly alien. If you were to use one word, one sound, or one movement to invite this alien to play, what would that be?
I would give them a flower because it's non-threatening. It's beautiful nature. Hopefully that they would speak of seeing the gesture of giving something to a being. And the flowers just represents our earth very well because there's so many beautiful flowers on this planet.
So why storytelling in a virtual space?
Well, I met this guy by the name of Crazy Mike, and why they call him Crazy Mike is that he does not shake your hands. He has his cell phone inside a plastic bag, and he wears a lot of stuff on his face. This is pre-pandemic. This is 2017. And I was flying my drone, and he came up and started talking to me and told me about a guy by the name of Paul, who invites anybody off the street into his apartment to try virtual reality. So I contacted Paul and found out that sometime in October that he was going to have a get together at 7:00 in the afternoon. He took all the furniture out of his apartment, put in virtual reality computers and headsets. I was so amazed by the technology and what I was seeing inside the headset. That was October. So November, I waited for Black Friday here in America and bought the computer and the headset, and then started doing VR. And from there, I haven't stopped. I do it every single day. There's a program in there to familiarize yourself with the application, with the headset, called First Contact. It's still around. And it's a little robot that comes and starts interacting with you. And you put the headset on and you go through this tutorial. And I remember it said, now let's see what your virtual hands can do. And it brings your hands up in front of you. And then this blast of light and these rays come flying out and stardust and stuff like that. And I go, wow-wee. And I go, that's where I think a cliche would be, I saw the light and fell in love with that one little experience. When you go into these virtual spaces, you have to build the world or the foundation for you to go inside of it. Two of my best friends in VR created this thing called the overview effect, which is a man by the name of Frank White that interviewed over 200 astronauts and about being in space. And one of the main things that he got out of it was how fragile planet Earth is. And why is it that we have so many issues fighting amongst us when we're just on this tiny little marble floating out in the vastness of the universe? And so this is the video I'm going to show you is people onboarding, going into the space, and then going to watch the Frank White narrate his experience of this. I'll go ahead and and bring that up.
I just talked to a recent astronaut today, interviewed her, and many astronauts use the word she used, which is fragile. The Earth looks fragile by itself against the backdrop of infinity. So the astronauts have this experience. They have a shift in consciousness. They realize fundamentally that the Earth is a whole system. There are no borders, there are no boundaries. They know that intellectually. So you can get a little bit of a feeling of what we're talking about as we rise above a city into the clouds. And we're going to ascend rather slowly. And as we go, you'll be feeling more and more of the overview effect.
Take another step. Stay on the planet, but another step.
As we go higher, you can imagine what it's like to be, let's say, on Mount Everest, about as high as you can get from the surface of the Earth. And you're reaching a point where you can't go any higher without special equipment. And we're really living on a tiny sliver of land that doesn't go very far up into the atmosphere. And once you pass a certain line called the Kármán line, you're in space.
And as we move into space, I invite you to look forward toward the sun. Take a look around you now if you'd like and see where we're located, still on the planet. But as we move away, face the way I'm facing now toward the sun up ahead for the overview effect experience.
Come over closer, please. Let's be one family. We're going to see watch special animation. It's going to be nicer when we're all standing here together. Let's close to the
Okay.
area. All right.
You can
Come
look
over
at
here.
it.
Just feel free.
Good. Thank you, Shushu.
You got it.
All right. So we're going to look at the sun and just go there.
Certainly you know that there's conflict down there, and certainly you know that there's pain and suffering and injustice, and you know that those are still there, but that's replaced for a moment by how beautiful it is.
If I permanently lived off the planet, I would always see the Earth as a whole system. I would understand things that we have been trying to understand for thousands of years. Our experience is the same as our ancestors 1,000 years ago, of our ancestors 35,000 years ago. We need to see that the entire planet is an interconnected whole system and that we're all in this together. View of the Earth from space and in space. That's our true situation. We're on a natural spaceship. That natural spaceship actually is moving through the universe at a high rate of speed.
So this is Frank White. This is his avatar that you see in front talking to us. And behind him is the portal that'll take you into that. So I'm going to fast forward, wait for it. So all those astronauts that you see in the video are actual human beings on some part of the planet. The creator of this experience, Shushu, he's in Krakow, Poland, and his co-partner is in Germany, in Hamburg, Germany. And they built this experience. Frank White is here in the States. The music was specifically designed when you're got the headset on and you're surrounded by the other astronauts and by hearing the audio and everything. It made a lot of people cry because it's such a powerful message that he is sharing with the rest of us through virtual reality. And I, as a cinematographer or VR filmmaker, I have another cameraman by the name of John, who is actually in Philadelphia, no, in Pittsburgh, and he and I are shooting these different angles. We're shooting these different shots, so you see it cut from a wide angle to a close-up.
The music definitely plays a role as we gradually see the overview, as we see sun and earth, and see how small we are. Like you mentioned, the fragileness, a sense of awe and wonder. It's like,
Stardust is what we are.
yeah.
And it's just such a different way to see life. YouTube videos on your phone or going to the movie cinema. I mean, IMAX is fantastic, but when was the last time you went to an IMAX movie? There's a project called the Meta Movie. There's a man in New York by the name of Jason Moore that is a teacher for television production in a school in Brooklyn. And I met him back 7 years ago, and he was doing movies in virtual reality where you are the hero. He created Alien Rescue, which is also where you are a hero and you go on a campaign to capture a creature that is becoming extinct, and you go with a bunch of professional actors. And what you do, you join in as a hero, and then you go through this campaign with these actors, and you guide the story to a certain degree, but the actors will bring you back to the main story so you can get through the entire episode. And what I did, I would go in as an invisible avatar with an invisible switcher, and I could attach cameras to the front of the actors and put static cameras inside the campaign. And as we moved through it, I would switch that, and then that would show up on Twitch live. And the
What?
campaign was about an hour and 30 minutes.
So cool.
I mean, it's cutting edge.
I see you have woken from cryostasis. Welcome to the Black Hawk, the Kelosite Research Facility. Your mission. The team is waiting. These iBots will accompany you to keep you safe. Or perhaps they'll get you killed. They are unpredictable.
Well, look who's here. How do we even know we can trust him?
I vouch for him, Baxter.
Hey, I told you, I go by Axe now.
Shut up! The Zabanager has the most toxic blood in the galaxy, and these bastards are weaponizing her. We can't let that happen. Everyone split up. Let's see what we can find.
Please, I'm innocent. Let me go.
He's lying.
Your call.
The thing about the show, everything that can go wrong goes wrong inside the show. I'm not going to give it away because I would prefer that any of you that are watching this, that you would actually experience it. But it is just like you're part of a video game, and the graphics are absolutely stunning. And it's fun, and the actors are fantastic people, and they're spread all over the world. We have people in South Africa, here in the States, and Europe. And so this is all going simultaneously. And one of the things that Jason figured out with his programmers is that you could type in a word in the chat of Twitch, and then you would hear a sound in the game. It would trigger a sound like a boom or some blood curdling scream or something like that, which was very nice because you as a viewer on Twitch, you could actually interact with the actors, and the actors would hear that sound in the game. So it's just really amazing, all the stuff that's happening right now with this,
That's
and
amazing.
so much more that to come.
That's beautiful. What do you think is the magic that creates the emotional connections inside of a storytelling scenario in that immersive environment?
Magic is that you feel that you're right there with the people that you're hanging out through their voice and through their movement. And for me, what I do is I go in and I learned this trick. Actually, I lived in France many years ago, and French television, they do extreme close-ups of people. And so I usually, when I'm doing shows, I get in really tight on their faces, and you can see that the most expression, because some of the actors have face tracking Like HTC Vive, it has a camera that looks at your face. And when you blink your eyes or stick your tongue out or make some weird expression, it replicates that on your avatar. So
Oh,
when you're able to get close up to an actor and stuff, you have the sense that you're in the presence of them in real life.
that's
It-
amazing. And are there newer technologies that's coming, way of storytelling that you're excited about?
I am. So one is the full body tracking. What you do is you put sensors on your body. They're little puck-like things that you strap on with Velcro on your elbows, on your torso, your legs. And so when you see a person walking around in virtual reality, it's just as close as it can be to an actual human being. And the
Mm.
other thing is they're working on right now, it's very expensive, but are haptics where you put a vest on or gloves, and you can actually feel
Yeah.
when you grab something, you're actually touching something and your body
Mm.
perceives that. And I mean, it's always the price, money, money, money that drives this. And I mean, I think the Tesla suit was, I don't quote me, but might be like $10,000 or something like that. Sony came out with a set of trackers that are like $350 that you can wrap yourself into and
Full
go.
body.
So you go into VR chat. And so that's a whole nother world for people that create avatars. When you go into VR chat, there are some of the most beautiful avatars with such intricate designs. You have just when the music is playing, their avatars change colors. They've got tats all over them, tattoos. And it's just an amazing experience to be sitting in your house in your shorts, experiencing these amazing get togethers from filmmakers to music events to conferences. And that, for me, that's super magic. Very interesting, too. There's a guy by the name of Palmer Luckey. This kid, he built the first headset in the garage of his parents in Long Beach. And basically, he took two iPhones and took them apart and built the headset. And then a guy by the name of John Carmack that did Doom, the game from the 80s or 90s, and he saw the headset and helped them with a Kickstarter, or at least was an evangelist for him. And then Meta bought the technology for like $700 million. And then Lucky worked for Oculus for a while, but then he left and went on his own. But that really is what launched the VR, because a lot of people say, well, VR is dead. And I know a guy that I physically know, his name is Tom Furness. He's been doing VR for 60 years. He was doing it for
60.
60. Yeah. He started back with the military, and they spent millions and millions of dollars trying to get VR for fighter jet pilots to train them
Mm.
to be able to fly better, be better pilots. He lives in the Seattle area, and I went up there not too long ago and actually physically met him in person. But I first met him in VR for quite a long time. And speaking of meeting people in VR, it's so magical when you actually get to meet them in real life. And I've had that experience multiple times, and it's very special.
Thank you for sharing those stories.
You're
And
welcome.
I'm curious. A lot of our audiences are people who are building startups, people who are leading innovations, and people who are developing other people. What suggestions can you share with us in terms of being able to perceive things from a holistic perspective, having that emotional connection? Especially the world is getting so unpredictable more and more. It's like more and more, faster and faster. How can we have that sort of like VR, immersive filmmaker, storyteller teller kind of perspective as we approach daily normal life and leading teams and leading ourselves to come up with solutions and help each other?
Well, so my professional life, most of my adult life, I photographed weddings for over 20 years and did family portrait. And when you do weddings, you have to tell a story. You have to tell a story about two people that find themselves through love and through their families and come together to tell everybody we're getting married and we're committed to each other. And then you have a big party after that. So my job was to be able to tell that story every single time that I did a wedding. And when I do virtual reality, I also do the same thing where I go in. I'll do my homework too. If I find out who's going to be in VR, if it's some sample for a job, I'll find out what the background is. Many times, a lot of these people have Wikipedia pages, or I'll go to their websites and read their bios and or LinkedIn and stuff like this and get familiarized with it. And then when I go into the actual experience or into virtual reality with my camera, then I'm able to try to approach and tell that story as best as possible that syncs up with the person that I'm covering.
The detachment comes from this sense of curiosity and also this responsibility of doing due diligence before the story is being taken. Every one of us, no matter if you're a team member, if you're a leader, everybody is a leader actually, and we just lead different things. So everybody assume this kind of storyteller. So we pivot from leader mindset to a storyteller mindset and use that storyteller mindset to get curious, to learn as much as we can, to learn from different person's perspective, as diverse as we can, and then tell the stories and then put things together through storytelling.
Yeah, exactly.
Then every challenges can be a story. It's not like it's like a challenge. It's like, yeah, it's like exciting challenge, like rescue aliens.
I'm always trying to find how to give a better or to tell a better story every time I go in there. One of my favorite types of coverage that I like is music. There's such a
Music.
variety of music out there. I did a 13-hour, actually, it was 12-hour streaming of Amapiano, which is a weird mix of music from South Africa. And they had a live stage in an old prison in Johannesburg where they had the artists playing music and stuff. And then they also had it going on in VR at the same time. And people in Johannesburg were shooting the footage in real life while I did the virtual. And then they mixed them both and streamed that out. And it's just, I've been exposed to types of music that I never would normally listen to, from classical to electronic to very grassroots kind of music as it was with the South African stuff.
It's nice.
One of the other things that we love to do is go world hopping. And what that means is that you go from one creation to another creation to another creation and explore those worlds. And it's like going to cities or countries. Each world has its own special magic, and you try to discover that magic through going with a group of your friends and exploring those worlds.
It's beautiful. As we conclude this episode, what did you enjoy creating or playing so much that time disappeared for you when you were around like 11?
When I was 11. Well, as you can see by my gray hair, I am very advanced in my age. And 11, I actually don't remember anything very much under 18 years old. I mean, my life where it got interesting was after I got out of high school. So, but 11, I grew up playing in the streets. I liked watching television, but I liked to invent things back then. And I even had the fantasy of having a band that was called the Inventors. And I created, I my dad had a workshop, wood workshop, so I would build stuff for myself in that workshop. And one thing was a very simple thing, but it was just a box that had sides, a top, and then I put two speakers here. And then I cut out all these pieces, clip art from magazines and stuff, and plastered the inside of the box with that, and then hooked it up to my stereo. And it was like having headphones, but without having the pressure of the headphones the way I have them on right now, that the music sounded very pure. And then I was a big animal lover and we had kitties, and I loved my cats back then and still do.
We have a puppy.
Yeah.
I think animals sometimes reminds us with the most simplest fact that everything is just pure love. That's what we
Unconditional.
unconditional love. That's yeah,
I
so
agree.
healing. What do you think overall is your magic?
To be able to connect with people very fast. I worked as a flight attendant for a number of years. And when planes that I flew in, we had 155 passengers, and I had to connect with them very fast and give them an experience that they felt comfortable and safe under my, you know, we were trained for emergencies and stuff. And so after, and then I also did hitchhiking across the United States and Mexico, and to be able to meet people and to connect with them is my magic. Is my wife is always telling people about that, because I can walk up to people and start a conversation. And I don't talk about the weather. I talk about stuff that really seems to be important to both of us.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I think I witnessed and experienced your magic,
Likewise.
and your magic helped to open up a new dimension in my life.
It's an interesting thing. I talk to people about VR a lot, and I find that a lot of adults have access to VR, but it belongs to the kids. Their kids or a relative has a headset or stuff. You can go over there and ask them if you can borrow the headset and just download an experience and try it out for yourself. Don't do any of the games unless you're into that. But the social aspect is very interesting. I, for example, play a game that's called Walkabout Mini Golf. And just before this show, I was playing with 7 people. We were in England and here in the States, in Las Vegas, New York, Birmingham, England. I can't remember where the other country is, the others. But we're playing a round of golf, and you can have up to 8 people. The game is only $15, and you can play with strangers or you can play with family members, and it's very, very well done game, and it just works. So that's,
Beautiful.
even my wife, who's never cared for virtual reality, when I turned her on to that game, she said, "Buy me a headset." She was in there and she loves playing the game herself. We play every
That's
day, literally.
That's beautiful. Such a great time. And thank you, Carlos,
You're
for
very welcome.
being here with us. And we'll keep exploring.
Very good. Much health and love to all of you.